ready for another MPG test drive? This week's victim is a remarkable 2017 Chevrolet Cruze turbo diesel. This is the new turbo diesel engine. I've seen some amazing numbers out of it so far. The first thing I'm going to do is fill it up because I've already run through a bit more than half a tank, and we'll get a real feel for how much fuel we've actually used. Chevrolet hasn't really done much marketing around the new turbo diesel Cruze yet. If you're looking for more information, if you're looking for local pricing, check out this link up here. That's my website, mpgomatic.com, and that'll hook you up with local pricing. You'll get the full review, the full written review, all that good stuff. The Cruze diesel has a remarkable amount of range. I pulled into the Shell station with an estimated 271 miles of range left after traveling slightly over 336 miles. Diesel fuel was selling at $2.45 per gallon, the exact same price as regular gasoline. The Cruze took just under 7 gallons and returned nearly 50 miles per gallon on average. If you've never driven a turbo diesel with a manual transmission, man, you're in for a treat because all that torque is down low. And it's real chirpy. You're not going to set any records with it, but it's quick. It probably feels quicker than it actually is. But boy, the power is right there when you need it. You lay into it, it's instantaneous. I kind of like that. Diesels aren't meant to be wound out like gasoline engines. The Cruze has an awesome whoosh between 2 and 3 grand. The shift mechanism is good, the clutch is easy to live with. The leather interior in our tester was handsome and the seats were extra comfy. Alright, we're rolling up to the entrance ramp. Going to downshift to third, 40 miles an hour. It's a little fast. Feels pretty good though. Nice and stable. Fourth gear. There's fifth. We're at 55, and if you heard the beep there, I reset the average MPG meter. And we're at 60 at the top of the ramp here. Got a little bit of construction. Gonna get on over. Take it up to 6th gear. And once we crest the hill, I'm going to take it up to 68 and I'm going to set the cruise control. One of the things you learn to do is avoid accelerating up hills, and that can save you a little bit. So here I'm going to roll on a little bit of throttle. And we're going to set the cruise control for 68. Get on over to the center lane because we got incoming traffic, and we'll let this ride for a while. I'm just over 10 miles into it, and the average fuel economy gauge is reading 58.9, which is pretty good. I have the Cruze set at 68. It's been a pretty clean run so far, and you can hear a bit of noise off the pillars and a bunch of road noise, maybe due to the Goodyear tires, I'm not sure. General Motors overall has done an excellent job in quieting down its cabin. So generally speaking, this is a quiet car. The engine, it doesn't make much noise. You can hear that low level sort of hum, rumble, but it's not objectionable, certainly not at speed. At 68, we're spinning just a bit over 2,000 RPM in 6th gear. About what you'd expect. Unfortunately, I can't test at really high speeds. I can't do 80 mile per hour testing because I live in Jersey. Speed limit is 65. So 68, 3 miles above, it's not going to get me a ticket. I don't need to get any tickets. Don't need to pay any speeding tickets for doing this, guys. Coming up to the corkscrew, and I'm going to take it out of cruise control. I'm going to coast right here. Hopefully I don't get stuck behind this dump truck, because that would just mess us up. Get over, get over. Nope, he's not getting over. Sadly. Ooh, look at this. What's going on here? Oh boy. If we got a jam up on 295, it's not good. No, it's just some construction to mess us up today. Something going on down there. Not sure what that is. So this is something that I usually don't see. It's a wrinkle in the plans. Looks like it's just folks getting off. I'm getting over there, man. Let me in. I usually have a nice clean shot here, but that's not happening. So there's one of our problems right there, that tractor trailer and this road crew operation. I don't know what that's about. On the upside, the average fuel economy gauge is now reading 61.3 miles per gallon. Usually I zoom through this, but not today. And we're at 61.3, heading up the hill. 14 miles into it. All right, we're getting back to our 68 mile per hour cruise mode in just a moment here. I'm going to turn cruise control back on. Rolling up to the turnaround point. And we're going in hot. Of course, we always end up hitting the light here. Well, not always, but more often than not. Numbers looked excellent there. 62.3. Woof. And we're going to get right back on. That little climb up takes us down to just below 60, and we're going to put it back into cruise control. Once again, set it for 68. Now, this hasn't been a really smooth cruise control run. More interruptions than I would have liked. That's the way it is. You never know what you're going to get when you're testing for fuel economy out in the real world. And it looks like there is a state trooper rolling up at high speeds, and these guys are just slowing down. Just about 25 miles into it, and we're averaging exactly 60 miles per gallon. And here's one of my favorite ramps, as long as you watch out for the hidden potholes. I'm going to leave it in cruise for this, but I'm going to dial it down to about 53. Gotta watch out for these potholes in here. They'll sneak up on you. Cruise is off because this guy's hauling whatever. Barbecue grills. So we're 33.4 miles into this loop. Got about another, I don't know, almost 10 miles to go maybe. We're averaging 60.3. That is positively extraordinary. Have we ever seen an American car capable of that on the highway? If you're on the road a lot, if you do tens of thousands of miles of driving every year, you're, I don't know what, a traveling salesman, you're the Fuller Brush man, you're out there on the open road. This just might be the most economical thing that you can drive over the long haul. It's just extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. It would be cool to test this at 80 if I could shake a car loose from Chevrolet for a few weeks and drive out west and do some serious testing like that. It will be awesome. But here in Jersey, we got an advantage, and that is we can't pump our own fuel. You know what they say, Jersey girls don't pump gas. Well, some folks don't like the way diesel fuel smells, but here in Jersey, it doesn't matter because you never touch it. This is a perfect car for Jersey if you got a long commute on the interstate. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to try a second loop. After I get done with this loop, I'm going to try a second loop at a slightly lower speed. I want to see how that affects it. Because it looks like we're going to end up on this loop with all of its interruptions and nonsense and weird things going on in cruise control, out of cruise control, dealing with traffic, stop and go, that stuff on the corkscrew. Looks like we're going to end up around 60. And we'll know shortly. But after this loop, I'm going to do a second loop at a slower speed. And I'm going to take it out of cruise control. Let's see how high we can get this. I got a number I'm gunning for in my head. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it there or not. Coming up on the end of the loop, numbers are pretty good. They're down a little bit from where they were, but that's inevitable because on this return leg, it's an uphill run, and there are an infinite number of variables that can affect fuel economy when you're testing out in the real world. One of them is elevation changes, and another is wind speed. And we got some wind today. I'm not sure how high it is, but when you can see those branches moving pretty well, you know it's fairly high. So I'll test when I get back to the desk, and I'll add the wind speed numbers in someplace. But right now, I got to tell you, this is exactly where we were. We're at 42.4 miles on the loop, 42.5, and it's 60.1. Pretty good. Now, let's see what it does on a second loop when I slow it down a little bit and keep it out of cruise control, because I think I could do substantially better than that. All right, we're into the second loop now. Easing up the hill at 60. Go to 6th gear right around here. We'll turn our cruise control on. And we're going to set it for 68. Oh, wait. This one was out cruise control. Oh, yeah. Let's do this off. Turn it off. All right. We're into our second run now. And this one I'm going to vary the speeds between 60 and approximately 72 if I go that high. The goal with this is to see how far I can push it without being a slowpoke, without getting in anybody's way, without being a hazard. We just want to see how high we can get the numbers. I think I can beat that 60 mile per gallon mark by a considerable margin. Another thing that can have a significant effect on fuel economy is air conditioner usage. Now, on these first 2 loops, it's been air conditioner off. It's 64 degrees today, so it's not really a fair example. You know, air conditioner use on a hot day when the humidity is high can take a toll, but it varies from car to car, from vehicle to vehicle. You don't really know until you get in the car, or truck, or SUV, whatever it is, and you put it to the test. In some vehicles, it's just a little bit. In some vehicles, it's a whole lot. And at this point with this car, I don't know yet. I have used some air conditioner. We had an 82 degree day, but I couldn't do a control test. So these first 2 loops, air conditioner off. You know, if I do a 3rd loop, maybe. My life driving around in circles, right? I get paid better if it were NASCAR. I'd go a lot faster too. I'm about 10.3 miles into it. At this point, I'm averaging 60.8. I think we might be a little bit ahead of where we were on the first run with cruise control. This has been a pretty clean run. I've been staying pretty much between 60 and 65 in the right lane. Staying out of people's way. Not making a hazard of myself. Just being a conscientious but slightly less speedy driver. Okay, we're getting off for the corkscrew again, and it looks nice and clean this time. So that's definitely going to benefit our MPGs, just because we've got a clean shot at it. And I tend to pick up a bit of efficiency through here because there's so much coasting at speed. Got a tough merge coming up on the right, so you got to always look out to see what's coming in there. And it looks like we're good. And I'm going to get over. And unfortunately, we're going to take a slow run because we've got traffic. Oh well. Same deal as last time, but we don't have a stop. Last time we came to a grinding halt. Usually I fly through here. It's a great chance to sort of test G's. It's a little scary. But we're going nice and slow through here. Oh, and by the way, average fuel economy at this point, 65.2. So slowing it down does bring some benefit. In case you were wondering. There you have it. Numbers are amazing. I'm not going to do a complete loop with this on the second. We've shown we can boost the numbers up a little bit by slowing it down. If I had the chance to with this, if Chevy gave me another shot at driving it over some distance, I'd aim to see if I could crack 70. I think I could get pretty close to that. Now, my buddy Wayne over at Clean MPG sets all the records. He knows all the techniques. He's a much more efficient driver than I am. I don't think I have the bladder, the endurance that he has to do those long miles. But in this car, I think I could get pretty close to 70 miles per gallon over distance. I'm just throwing it out there. If Chevy wants to hook me up with one of these cars for longer term tests, man, I'd love to try it. Go someplace cool, see what we can do. Find some good food along the way. But right now, it's Chick-fil-A. Thanks as always for watching. This has not been my normal review. I did a review of the Cruze hatchback for Untitled just a few weeks ago, so I'll include a link to that someplace if you want to watch that. That'll cover all this stuff in the car, all the stuff, you know. It's got Apple CarPlay. This one has really comfortable leather seats. Really comfortable leather seats. Oh yeah, one more thing. I got a couple of 0 to 60s for you. Now these aren't the greatest 0 to 60s. I think I could have done better, but I usually only take a few shots at it. And trying to figure out a manual versus an automatic always takes more time. Throw in the fact that this is a diesel and it behaves differently than everything else. You really gotta take a different approach to it. So I've got 2 runs at it. The first one is off the line from a standing stop. We've got traction control on. The second one is from a slight roll with traction control off. Thanks as always for watching. If you like this, hit the like button. If you really like it, share it. And if you haven't subbed yet, do that. And we'll catch you down the road.